Hello, friends, and beep, beep, beep. Get it up there. Get it up. Oh, 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 oh. Well, it was a good try, anyways. Let me help a little bit. What do we have here? Sometimes that is better. Do you like wicked treasure demons? Do you like big demons? Well, you're going to love the updated for 2024. Sometimes that is better, but it's even better. So let's get right into our creature base. And no peeking, no peeking. I think we have. Good. Okay. Anyways, of course we have Archfiend's Vessel. I'm just going to do the deck explanation because this will be quick. We've done a couple on this deck last year, so we'll just show the updates, and it has been changed quite a bit. So this will be exciting. Even if you've seen the other videos, join me on this one because it's going to be fun. No, not you. Go away. Go away. No, not you. You're a distraction. Thank you. Sorry, George. All right. Archfiend's Vessel. So, lifelink 1/1. That's fine. Archfiend's Vessel enters the battlefield. If it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile. Oh, boo hoo. But guess what? If you do, you get Big Demon. So, we get Matt Damon. I mean, Big Demon. Matt Damon. Big Demon. Matt Damon. So, I call the Big Demon Matt Damon. I like Matt Damon, but it's a compliment as far as I'm concerned. It's a great creature. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. We have 4 greedy freebooters. When it dies, we scry 1 and we create a treasure token. We love to scry because sometimes there's things up there we do not need. And we love that treasure token because that is ramping us in black. We have 4 of these, and we ran a few of the Shambling Geists and even a full playset and tested that out too. But this version, testing this out the last month or so, has beaten some really great performing meta decks, and it was amazing. So Greedy Freebooter I like better because you get Scry. The -1/-1 or create a treasure token, I don't like it. Plus I like the idea of like a human being making a demonic pact and stuff, and all of that. It goes into the Pet Cemetery theme, you know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we have Carrion Feeder, which it's a nice old frame version. I may put the modern bordered version into here actually, just to keep it a little consistent. But we have these as a sacrifice outlet, and with Unearth on turn 2, you can get a really big cat out there and a few treasure tokens too. So there's nothing wrong with that. So getting this out, turn 1 with a freebooter, sack it, unearth it, create a treasure token. Got a 1/1 on there and a treasure token. So turn 3, we can play a black creature, and this will play effect later. So as quickly as we can get 3 black creatures, that's a good thing for us. And getting those counters is nothing shabby either. So even then, like I'll get into it when we get into it. You'll see. So we have 4 Carrion Feeders, great sack outlet. We can make it big, right? And a new card in the deck, and this one is what changed it and made it formidable. And I'll explain why. It's 1 black. It's 1/1. It's a dog. It's a snarling gorehound, in fact. Not familiar with the breed myself, but I think by what Elquist Prof to Judith says, offering the dog a treat, but I'm afraid I don't have any appendages. It likes to eat people's limbs. So it's very good for us. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 of these menacing dogs, and whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, surveil 1. Surveil's great because we want to put something in the graveyard. And if something great is on the top of our deck that's great in our graveyard, hence I'll show you in a second, that's perfect for us. So that just takes a step of us having to sack something, put it in there, discard, whatever. That takes that away from us and just happens. Snarling Gorehound and Menace too. So turn 1, by turn 2, Menace, you can definitely get some damage through. 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. Of course, I wouldn't run any less. I love that Surveil. Now, Reggie, you're a big boy. You're 3 mana. We can bring you back because your mana cost is 3 or less. You're a 7/6, but you seem to like 3. So we have just 3 Reggies now. Just because we can recur Reggie from the graveyard with Unearth. And with the copies of Unearth we have in here, 4 Reggies was a bit much. Now, we ran, I believe, 16 lands, or 15 maybe even, and 4 Troll of Khazad-dûms. Yes, because of the treasure tokens we were running with the Shambling Geists. We cut down to 2 Troll of Khazad-dûms, and it's working great for us because we added some lands. So it can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. That casting cost. But swamp cycling, we got this in our opening hand, turn 1. We can cycle it, get another swamp if we need it. Of course, we'll need it. We'll want it. Why not? We want this in our graveyard. So then when we hit this with Persist on turn 2, we got a basically unblockable 5/4. So that's very good. It definitely acts like a cantrip in a way, I guess. It's like a poor man's or a black, like in black where you don't get many cantrips. It's like a kind of like a boho version of Abundant Harvest. So we can get that land when we need it. So that's really, really valuable for us. And here we have the Demon of Death's Gate. Now this is the showstopper. Now this is why I was saying about getting 3 black creatures being very important. Because if we get the 3 black creatures out, we can pay 6 life, sacrifice 3 black creatures rather than pay Demon of Death's Gate's mana cost. So if we get this out, that's amazing. We can persist it and we still have an 8/8 flyer. So unlike Troll of Khazad-dûm, this is not the boho version of anything. And in Demons, black doesn't have to make sacrifices like it does with certain like cantrips and stuff, or things where you want to go through a little bit, where you have like Gruul and Izzet has those better. But this, running 3 of them, and 3's been treating us good because we don't mind getting 1 in our opening hand. And we definitely want to seek 1 up and put it in our graveyard later on. So 3 seems to be the number, and that rounds up the creature base. So to protect these things, we've added some things, and let's get through here. All right, there we go. All right, lock flying. Anyways, so we have a Not Dead After All, and we're just running 2 of these because this isn't necessarily doing what we want to do, but this is going to protect those big demons, and when they come back, they're going to be bigger demons, or even bigger dinosaurs, whichever way you want to look at it. So these are absolutely great in here, but just 2. This isn't a scam deck necessarily, so. Now, Deadly Dispute is great in here. Additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. So it's basically 1 black. It's going to get us that treasure token, and we're going to draw 2 cards, which is important for us because the more cards we're drawing, the more cards we have to discard to some of our discard effects, and the more things we can get moving quicker. Because this is like a black aggro deck, I'd say. I'd say definitely a black aggro. Running 2 Deadly Disputes. Now, to keep things moving along, we have sack outlets, and we have plenty of things to sacrifice. So Fatal Push. Destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. Now, isn't this one of the best removal spells in black? Especially when you're sacrificing things and when you run fetch lands in mono black, like I do in the Scam deck. Destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less instead of a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. And in this deck, things are going to leave the battlefield. And I just don't see any reason to like spend money. People always say in the comments sometimes on these budget decks, like this should have that, or, well, we try to keep these decks friendly, like, and not like so gimmicky as like the most budget kind of decks, you know, like those Zombie Hunt and things like that. Like this is like a real modern deck that I think you can have fun with at F&M, because I beat Scam a few times with this, and not mono black, Rakdos Scam, and it was amazing. Both me and the Scam player were both like, whoa, because he's like, hey, let me see that deck. I was like, all right, man, check it out. And it's so cheap. I mean, it's so cool, you know, to be able to do that. I wouldn't take this thing to some like high level tournament like I would a couple of my other ones, but this deck is super cool. And on a budget like this, you cannot go wrong. So Unearth is going to hit creature cards. like Archfiend's Vessel. Mostly greedy freebooter. Things we're going to want to bring back and sacrifice. So we'll definitely be our first hit there to get that 5/5 demon. Greedy freebooter's good. And in addition, Reggie is a target for anybody's removal. So Unearth will also bring back Reggie. 1, 2, 3. And we have the old one. And we're trying to make them all match, Jeffrey, I know. You're going to have to send me another little package. So running 4 Unearths. Let's see here. All right, we'll talk about the mana base. So here's our Unmarked Grave. This is our tutor. Now, I cannot believe how good this is. This feels like wrong in this deck in a way because if you have 3 mana, like, so let's say turn 1, right? You play Greedy Freebooter. Turn 2, you play whatchamacutchama, the Carrion Feeder, sacrifice Greedy Freebooter, Unearth. By turn 3, you can search up one of your bad boys there. And yeah, I guess, like, I would say also you're putting your opponent like on a timer. And with these little creatures attacking, like these Archfiend's Vessel and stuff, it's just very like harrowing for the opponent, especially when you have like freebooters being sacrificed twice on a turn, maybe paid for with treasure token. I've done it a couple times just to really ramp up the Carrion Feeder, and then I ended up having a pretty big boy there. I think I did it 3 times. I had a 4/4 like turn 3, so that wasn't bad. And that was like things not coming, like not happening our way. We didn't have any big things. We didn't have the Unmarked Grave to search out big things, but it worked out for us. So running 4 of these, search library for that non-legendary card, put that card into your graveyard and shuffle. Could you imagine if it was search for your card? Sorcery speed. That's kind of a bummer, but it'd be cool if it was instant. I think an instant speed card like that would be so rude. Return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. Of course, we're running 4 persists. Now that is the main deck, my friends. And we are going to go now and talk about the mana base, which is very slim, as far as I'm concerned. And you could even go cheaper with it. So we have really crappy lands in here. The basic lands in here are absolute garbage. Just because, why would you invest anything in a budget deck like this that's any good? See, Lockthwain, look at, you know why I say Lockthwain like Lockthwain? You know my joke. Lockthwain. He's the bouncer at the bar. And they're like, Lockthwain, got some teenagers over there. Get in there, man. So, we got Lockthwain. We have a 1/of. And Castle Lockthwain enters the battlefield tap. Unless we control a swamp, we'll control many. Tap and add black. 1 and 2 black. Tap, draw a card. You lose life equal to the number of cards in your hand. By the time we're doing that, we probably will have like 1 card in our hand. So 1 Lockthwain. We have Silent Clearing. Pay 1 life, add white or black. But mostly we're going to pay 1, tap, sacrifice Silent Clearing, draw a card. Now here we go. Ugh, look at these cheap, dirty lands. Practically give these away at the LGSs, man. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then round it out with, you can kind of say there's 19 lands just because we have our poor man's cantrip in the form of our Swamp Cycling Troll. So, I think what I will do is I will do a little shuffle up for you in a bit here. And let's talk about the sideboard, which I'm sure will change when Modern Horizons releases. And is going to utilize some of those cards more that I showed you guys that I'm buying a lot of. We have Surgical Extraction because, hey, it's an animal that's like coming from the grave and doing bad things. Dead horse delivers beating. So that goes along with our pet cemetery theme. as much as we can. So we can almost be Timmy-fied here. Almost Timmy. We have 1, 2, 3 surgical extractions. If we're playing somebody like 5-color Omnath, when I ran these in this deck and I main boarded them against 5-color decks or decks that are greedy, even what was it? Sagavan. Okay, a guy had Sagavan. I actually removed his fetch lands, and he's like, "You son of a," and that's what prompted me to make the video where I was like, "Hey, you know, I'd really mix up your fetch lands, as pretty as it is to have play sets." So we have Break the Ice. So we have 2 of these to take care of target land that is snow or could produce colorless. So that's going to take out our Urzas. We have Blood Chief's Thirst to take out the 2-mana Planeswalker that you don't see very much anymore. Renin 6. Got that kicker. But creature destruction 2 or less. It's a sorcery speed fatal push. At worst, and at best, we can take out a 2-mana Planeswalker, which a couple are on the way. Now, here's a crappy card in my opinion. It's not that great. Feed the Swarm. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. Wish I didn't have to run this in here, but this is our only answer to certain Leyline enchantments. So, Leyline of the Void. And even somebody playing a free Chalice of the Void. Chalice will mess us up. A couple turn 1 games, like first game, Chalice got me, man. So it's a shame to have to put these in there, but then you'll want them. And then Pithing Needle. Ooh, it's an artifact. So if this is in our deck, we can take care of things. Pithing Needle enters the battlefield. Choose a card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So we can choose fetch lands. If somebody has played a Chalice, we can hit the Chalice if it's for 0, which will stop our demon from being resurrected and stuff. So Pithing Needle is important. You could almost add another one. And if I do, I may add a couple actually, because it's so nice to pop it in there when you have people that are trying to mess with our plan. So Collective Brutality is very good in this deck. I'm running 2. Oh, there's that 3rd Break the Ice. I was going to say, I knew I had a 3rd one in there. It's just hiding from me. So 2 Collective Brutalities. It's got that Escalate, and Escalate cost is pretty interesting. It's discard a card, which is pretty good for us. So if we're going against a fast deck that's really like hurting us, we got the life gain, we got creature removal, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose an instant or sorcery card from it, that player discards that card. That will get rid of some of our spot removal. Particularly nice if we have just so that we can maybe discard 2 cards and escalate this twice and get something we want in the graveyard and something we don't need in the graveyard, and then get 2 life. And then more often than not, I really like to take the creature out if there's a creature, just because of that -2/-2. And the blocker could be a problem for Reggie or the troll. But generally, flying creatures like we have in here causing a lot of trouble. Now the tokens you're going to need some treasure tokens. Got a lot of purdy ones there. You need a couple of demons, a wicked roll, and that's about it. And like I said, I really think this deck is good and it's fun. And if somebody said, I want to get into Modern and play something that is off the cuff a little bit different, I'd recommend this all day. Like I said, deck inspiration comes from many places, but this one is kind of my own. And that being said, it's not even, I don't even have this list up yet, so I'm just going to put it on the channel, but I'm going to update the video in the next few days. I've been so busy doing stuff for the channel, and I've actually had to do my regular work too by doing some musical repairs, and I don't like to touch cards when I have Delbergia dust on me, which is rosewood, basically. It's a hardwood, so it's kind of a sappy, very oily wood. But anyways, I digress. So we will probably do some shuffle up and see if we can resurrect some creatures and raise some demons tonight. We'll do that. That's what we'll do. Late in the night, we'll do a goldfish and see if we can raise a demon, brothers and sisters and siblings. So we're at 20 minutes. I think we did the deck reveal. We showed the sideboard. We got our donut on camera here. I guess that's it. This was a long one, but the deck explanation was there. It's got a nice little toolbox in the sideboard. It's got, you just got to take out some of your extras. You can't be greedy in the deck if you're playing against real high level decks. You got to make those cuts, you know, and figure out what they're going to be. Mostly for me, it's Reggie. If I'm going to sideboard, Reggie gets sideboarded, and one Demon of Death's Gate I will sideboard. And sometimes, well, we'll get into that. We'll talk about sideboarding when I goldfish and do some mulliganing. So you guys have a good one. Can we get an 8? Can we roll an 8? We rolled a 3. All right, 3 you later.